Hello, everyone. Hey, YouTube. I hope you all can hear me. Hello, everyone. Hey, YouTube. I hope you all can hear me. Okay, so I didn't give a notification or anything about me getting on this morning or anything like that. So for those of you who come into the chat and everything, it's kind of a spontaneous thing. So I'm taking it that YouTube just sent you out either a message in your email or you just happen to be online and that's how you found me. And I'm seeing someone in the chat now. Sita Dentor. I hope I said your name right. Hey, hun. And Autumn Rain is in my chat too. Good morning, hun. And I'm going to let the chat fill up a little bit too because I'm not going to be on here too much longer because I have something to do a little later on and everything. And I got to take care of some stuff today. But I wanted to touch up a little bit about ancestor worship or ancestor veneration and everything. And that was one of the main things that I was basically teaching and talking about, a couple of years ago and last year very heavily because I do work with my ancestors before I work with my deities, and, other spirits and, different laws that I work with. So I wanted to go ahead and touch up a little bit about that, working with your ancestors. Okay, and good morning, Rose. Good morning. And first, I'm going to go ahead, you guys, and just read a little bit about the definition of a veneration of the dead or working with your ancestors. I'm going to read a little definition about this, okay? And before I really get into what I really want to say, and it says, the veneration of the dead, including one's ancestors, is based on love and respect for the deceased. In some cultures, it is related to beliefs that the dead have a continued existence and may possess the ability to influence the fortune of the living. Some groups venerate their direct familiar ancestors. Some faith communities, in particular the Catholic Church, venerate saints as intercessors with God, as well as praying for and to departed souls in purgatory. Okay. And it says in Europe, Asia, and some African and Afro cultures, the goal of ancestor veneration is to ensure the ancestors' continued well-being and positive disposition towards the living, and sometimes to ask for special favors or assistance. The social or non-religious function of ancestor veneration is to cultivate kinship values such as family loyalty of the family lineage. Ancestor veneration occurs in societies with every degree of social, political, and technological complexity, and it remains an important component of various religious practices in modern times, which goes back to the reason why I work with my ancestors. During the time I started really getting into my African traditions and cultures and learning about my ancestors, and not just my ancestors that were brought over here from West Africa in different places like that. I was trying to connect myself with my main ancestors, like, not only just my grandmother, but like my great-grandmother, great-grandfather, the people that were before me. And I was trying to find out information. And during this time, like I said, I for those of you that know me, I do work with spirits and I work with the dead. So during that time, I learned a lot about how to truly connect with my ancestors and to get them to help me when I really need them to help me. And they will do that. But it's also like a give and take type of thing. If you want your ancestors to help you and assist you in workings, especially if you're working for different clients and things like that, and you're not just working for yourself as well, you need to give back to your ancestors. You need to have that respect. And for those of you that know me, I do buy a lot of flowers. And that's one of my main things that I love to give my ancestors is flowers. And I love to give my ancestors, food, coffee. I like to, because my altar is a living thing in my eyes. It's a living entity. My altar is my ancestor altar. All of my altars are a living entity, but my ancestor altar is such a living entity because all of my people that are in my family that was for my good are on that altar. Now you can always get people that are in your ancestral line or lineage that were not for you, that they wouldn't do you any good. So you don't want to call upon those ancestors that you have problems with. Let's just say if you had a grandmother that hated your guts, to set out anything on your living altar, your ancestor altar, to someone in your family that hated your guts, because things 9 times out of 10 are not resolved. So that person is not going to help you. That spirit is not going to help you. So when you make your ancestor altar and you're calling on for protection and help and things like that, you want to make sure that your ancestor altar is set up. Those ancestors before you that passed on that mean you well, those that are for you, and you want to put that in your petition. I know a lot of people, they have a coconut and everything on their ancestor altar. You want to put that, in your coconut and everything. You want to put that on your altar somewhere, that I assistance with my ancestors that are for me, and it just depends on what type of person, that you are too. It just truly does. For those of you that know me, I work with both sides. I work with the left and the right hand side, and ancestors in my past and everything that's passed on, that some people might consider them in tranquil spirits, or spirits that's restless or whatever. They died in a tragic way. They died in a. But the thing is with me, with working with my own people that died that way, because they knew me when when they were living. They knew me, so they still know me. So if I need for my cousin Joe to come help me take care of something, he's gonna help me take care of something. As long as I'm giving Joe his respect and everything like that, everything is fine. And when he was here in the living, he never turned on me or anything. He was always very protective of me. He was older than me. Okay. So, you kind of want to think about that. If you had an ancestor in your past that's passed away from a tragic, maybe he was a gangster, he was in, doing drugs or whatever, if you didn't have a good relationship with that person, you do not want to put that person on your living altar, because they will come into your life and shake and rattle things up. Get into the chat here and check everybody. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Leona. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you here. And Sharon. Hey, Sharon. Good morning, hun. And Miss V, Lady V. How you doing, hun? And Lakeisha, she's here this morning. Good morning, Lakeisha. Yes, I'm so glad y'all stopped by. And Lady V, I will want to tell you, okay, I'm going to get off a little bit of this topic. I'm going to be on a Reverend Patience show Sunday, and I think I did make a little video about that and everything. And I'm going to be on her show Sunday night. And I'm going to be talking about the hoodoo bleach jar. Okay, I'm going to be talking about that situation and everything. But you guys, I'm going to keep it classy. You guys not going to get crazy. But I'm not going to do that because I know that's what everybody's expecting. Everybody's expecting for me to go crazy. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it classy. You know, I'm going to keep it real, you know, professional and everything. So we're going to be talking about some good topics and everything. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of people are expecting for me to go wild, and I'm not going to do that on her show. Yes. And Miss V, you know, I'm just going to say Miss V, you know, when I'm on the show and everything, I'm just going to say Miss V, I've got this this bleach jar recipe from Miss V, because Miss V, you deserve the proper credit, okay, girl? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I put that out there, every witch from around the world was doing that hoodoo bleach jar, girl. Let me tell you, and a lot of people contact me. I was like, dang, really? Video, and it's like I don't see no thumbs down on that video. And that video, I think it's got like over 1,000 views already. So you know, it's just gonna keep going up and up and up. You know how YouTube do. Yes. Yes, Barbara, I'm having a great day. And Le Bouger Parfum, I hope I said your name right. Le Bouger Parfum. Let me tell you, I'm getting your perfume in today. My assistant, she's taking care of everything with me. I can't wait to do a review on y'all's perfumes and everything. And like I said, if y'all want to work with me, I would be so honored because I got some ideas and everything. I got some good ideas, you know, like for the names anyway, not like for the sits, you know. But I'm just my shameless plug out there because I'm just gonna keep it real. This is my shameless plug. But I'm so glad that y'all watch my videos and everything. Yes, yes. So definitely, it's Wednesday. So I'm thinking, yeah, probably by Saturday. I know I have the show coming up Sunday. Description for the show and everything in the description box a little later on, so you guys can come back to this live stream and just click on it, and it'll take you to Reverend Patience talk show ministry that she's gonna have. And yeah, and she's a very good, sister witch of mine and everything, and just really, really cool and down to earth. And she's of course interviewed so many people and everything. And this is just really an honor for me, for her. When she asked me, I was totally surprised. I was like, really, little old me? I was totally surprised. But yeah, I'm really honored that she asked me to be on her show and everything. So you guys, if you go on my YouTube page, you can check the video before this live stream, and I made like a little YouTube video and everything showing, it's going to be 8 p.m. Central Standard Time when we go live and everything like that. And it's going to be about an hour broadcast, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's going to be about an hour broadcast. And, we're going to be, talking about a lot of different things like that and just having some fun. And I do believe, I don't think you guys can actually call in, but I think you guys can get in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to post that information later on in the live stream today, the link and everything. And so you'll be able to click on the link and find her show. And I believe it'll show you how to set up everything so that you can get into the chat. So if you wanted to say anything in the chat, and you trolls aren't welcome, okay? Because it's going to be moderated. So you say one thing to get out of hand, you got to go. Bye-bye. Yes, okay. Yes. And Barbara says, I posted a rant on Gmail about it. The instructions were clear. I was really irritated that people can't follow simple instructions. I know, right? I know, right? Like I said, I don't want anybody to be hurt or anything off of that. But like I said, most people use common sense anyway. And everyone knows that I make my videos and stuff for other witches and other practitioners and sorcerers and people that, are practicing and everything. So, but yeah, definitely, like I said, I put that disclaimer out there, and a lot of people, they, try to come after me because, and then they try to lie on me saying I was saying that, you mix ammonia with bleach, which I've never said that. I would not ever say anything like that to anybody, like I've said before, and I know Lady V had a lot of people messing with her too about it. And she's right. A lot of people were just mad because they didn't think about it first. And like I said, you know what? Bleach was invented around the year of the 1700s. That's when bleach was invented. So like I said, if you are old hoodoo conjure women, them old hoodoo conjure women, like my grandmas, they used what they had back then. And if they was going to get you together, they was going to get you together. It didn't matter what they had, but they had their intent. They had their own circle with how they did things. Every house, every family that practiced, call it Bible magic, hoodoo magic, whatever you want to call it, praying over people, praying against people, whatever you want to call it. Every house had their thing on how they did things. And so that's why I respect Lady V, because, like, I have never, bleach jar before, I heard of it, but yeah, I can see it. And then another sister had told me, she said, oh my gosh, she said, yeah, she said, I was talking about doing a bleach jar a long time ago. She said, and then people was like, nah, you can't do that. Now, she's like, I wish I would have said something. Yeah, I wish you would have said something too, but, it is what it is. These are the things that happen. And people just can't believe that you can't do this. And, it just stems with people just mad because they didn't think of it first. Is basically what it is. Yes. And La Bourgeois Perfume says, our entire staff loves your videos. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping I'm saying you guys' name correctly, because I don't want, Les Bourgeois. It does, it's very French, right? Creole French. Les Bourgeois Parfume. I love it. Yes. Hey, Kanai. I hope I said your name right too. Hey, Kanai. And Floricia Dento says, I found your channel through Priestess Creole Queen. Ah, yes. You know what? I love High Priestess Creole Queen. Okay, I love her. And I know I said her name just like she does. I know she went from Priestess to High Priestess Creole Queen. And she does. I know she was saying before, I saw one of her videos, she has a coven and everything. And, if you have a coven, if you're, the head person of your coven, that's what you are. You're a high priestess or you're a high priest, or whatever. But yeah, I love Priestess Creole Queen. I don't have any problems with her. Never had any beef with her or anything. She's cool. I watch her videos too. So yeah. Can't nobody tell me nothing bad. She's loved by the community. She's loved by the spiritualist community. And I have nothing but respect for her. She's the real deal. Look how she manifested her life, from New Orleans, and she's living in it's not Bolivia, but I know it's the other one, and it's right on the tip of my tongue. I mean, she went to a whole different country, okay? I want to say it's Ecuador. You know what I'm saying? But she did that shit. She did that. She manifested herself to a whole different country and is doing well. And that's inspiring. You can use your witchcraft. You can use your magic. You can use You conjure for whatever it is you want to. You just can't let people tell you that you can't. That's what, this so-called person, this nemesis, he tries to, tell women what they can't and can't do and limit their power. You know, you can't, you really can't even listen to somebody like that. It's just so negative. Yes. Aaron says, I'm glad you posted. Yes. And Sharon, you said you're in the UK, right, Sharon? I try to keep up with everybody. It's hard to, you guys, I get so many people contacting me through my Gmail, through my Yahoo, Facebook, the fan book, the other Facebook. Oh my gosh, I swear. And just to do the sessions alone, that's why I have to tell people now, go ahead and book your time. Go ahead and book your reading ahead of time, because the people that's already paid are the people that I get to first. I have an obligation. If you've already paid, I will get to you first. Go ahead and pay, and we'll book a time. We book a time for 6 p.m. or whatever. I will go ahead and get to you. If I'm running a little bit behind, please forgive me for that. But when you're in this type of business, sometimes we do run in over time when we're talking with our clients and stuff. Might order a 30-minute reading from me, but we end up going over time, 40, 45 minutes. And it's just because, I want to make sure that that person, that we're on the same accord, and that I've gotten everything out from me to give them from spirit, so it's just important. It's more about the quality, when I'm doing my reading. So that's why I tell people, go ahead and book your time, and then I will get to you, the first according. So don't wait till like an hour or 10 minutes before the reading is on, and then you book the time, then you pay me, because I have a life too, and I'm not going to wait around. There's other things that I need to do, or there's other people that I need to get to. So that's why I tell people now, book your time early. And I hope that makes sense. Yes. 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 I'm going to say LBP right now. And y'all say y'all love Princess Creole Queen too. Yes, I do too. And yes, she's in Ecuador. She's in Ecuador. Yes, yes. And Leona says she's enjoying my channel. And Barbara said you should get on Google Plus as well. You know what, Barbara? I think that I am actually, but I haven't posted lately. But I need to start posting on Google Plus more. Yes. So getting right back into the um ancestor veneration or ancestor worship, because I'm gonna have to get off here in a little bit. And like I was saying, you can't or pay respect to every ancestor. There's some that's not gonna be for you, and they'll make your life a living hell. If they've made your life a living hell before they passed, or they didn't like you, they're just not going to work with you. And you know what? That's a matter of fact. I know some people, they talk about, oh, my grandmother this, my grandmother that. If your grandmother didn't like you on this side, she's not going to like you on this side. So, don't lie. Don't say, yeah, I'm going to work her. I'm going to set things out for her. And all. Because if you do that, just like she gave you the business on the other side, she's going to give you the business on this side, and That's the truth. That's the truth. And like I said, with my grandmother, like, you know, my she was my everything, and I was her everything. Like I said, you just didn't mess with her grandbabies, and she always took care of us. She did everything that she could for us, and and she did weddings and stuff, and she did funerals. Okay, and so I remember being a little girl and going to different people's funerals, because she had to speak at the funeral. She was a minister. You know what I'm saying? That's what she did. She was, a witch as well. She was a conjure woman, but she had to hide behind the church. Being black back then, like, and you just coming out saying you a witch and stuff like that. Nah, baby. They would have killed you. You had to deny it. You had to deny it. Or you had to be in a certain place, maybe where it was accepted. And even if you called yourself a witch back then, you was ostracized. You wasn't accepted into the community because everybody was afraid of you and everybody didn't want anything to do with you. And I remember being a little girl in a town that I was in with my grandmother, and they were basically calling my grandmother a witch. You know what I'm saying? So people was calling folks witches when I was a little girl, and hearing people saying stuff like that, and so that's how I knew, like, yeah, you know, I am a witch. We are witches, we always have been, but we had to hide behind the Bible, just like Marie Laveau had to. Marie Laveau wasn't just out calling herself a witch back then, and she couldn't do nothing unless she was hid behind the Catholic Church. And the only reason why she got to do her voodoo and everything like that is because she was hiding behind the Catholic Church, and she became good friends with people in the Catholic Church that decided that they were okay with what she did. Like I said, even the people in Congo Square to this day in New Orleans, back then they couldn't dance and sing and stuff like that and everything at Congo Square back then, because the Catholic Church wouldn't allow it unless they, accepted the Bible and stuff like that, and accepted, the Catholic Church and did all that. So that's why you have a lot still of the Catholic teachings and stuff and all that inside of, um, you know, uh, African American traditions, hoodoo, voodoo, all of those types of, American folklore, magic, whatever you want to call it. It was because, we couldn't do anything without having the Bible incorporated. So I hope that that makes sense. Floricita Dantor says, I'm getting so much inspiration. Oh, thank you, hon. And Barbara, you added me. Good, Barbara. You added me. You can go ahead and leave a message on my my Google Plus page too, so that I make sure that I can follow you back. Yes. And Melanin Queen says, if you are not familiar with their ancestors, how to properly call in positive ancestors, or just calling the people you know. Thank you. Okay, well, Melanin Queen, what you need to do is, like I said, when you make your petition or whenever you do your prayer or your chant in front of your altar, okay, you need to make sure that you are, asking, the God, the goddess, whatever, I want my ancestors that are for me to come to me and help me, that are for you, because you do have ancestor guides, you have ancestors that are around you, that are there to assist you and help you and take care of you and help you in what you need. So that's what you need to do. And then when you do that, give them, the proper, gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? You can give them the proper food, flowers, offerings, you give them the proper offerings, and everything. You may not know exactly, what that ancestor before you liked or whatever, but as far as like giving them something, that doesn't have like, a lot of salt in it, something that's, like maybe fruit, nuts, flowers, something that's not going to perish, too soon, or, and what I tell people is if you give your ancestors something that may perish, don't keep it over 2 days, and all you have to do, you can throw it out on the ground. A lot of people like to do that, throw it out, in the yard, in the ground, or I would say, just dispose of it, because you don't want to leave anything on your living ancestor altar that's going to spoil, and that's including your flowers. If you start to see your flowers going dead and all that, go ahead and get it off of there, and that you have fresh water on your altar, um, and those are a few things that I know that will help you out a lot, help you all out a lot with that. So yes, you just want to make sure that you call upon your ancestors that are there for you and not against you, and yeah, because that's the last thing you want to do is just call on, up upon all of any ancestors, because some of them are tricksters and jokesters, and some of them didn't like you. Like I said, if they didn't like you in that last life, they're not gonna like you in this life. They're gonna judge you. If your grandmother didn't like you because you were gay, or lesbian or whatever, she not gonna like it on this side. So don't even worry about contacting her for help. She didn't help you on this side, she's not gonna help you on this side. you know so yeah. Yes, Tony's girl, Grand Rising, hun, Grand Rising. Yes. Yes, and other than that, like I said, just from my own experience, and I've had a lot of positive outlooks and help from my ancestors. Like I said, my grandmother especially, she's just like, right there. All I have to do is just basically really think about her, and she's right there. And she knows she's gonna get her offerings, and she knows she's gonna get her flowers. And like I said, that's all I have to do really is just call upon her, and she's there. And I also have an aunt, and my mother, of course, and I have some other ancestors that I work with as well. I have some ancestors that's on my father's side, and they are, from the Benin, people and everything. And a lot of times I do a lot of my clients' work with them, which means, I bring in the music with them, the elements, earth, wind, fire, water. I bring in the elements with them, and they are very helpful with me. And they just love the celebration. And I love working with them, especially. They love the celebration. It's all about, happiness. And I get a lot of good results with them too. But that's as far as my ancestors go. And a lot of times with different work that I'm doing, I use, I have my main deity. Everyone knows that I work with Oshun, and I work with one of my lords. His name is Dembala. Everybody knows that I work with him. And, there's another one that I work with, and I'd rather not say, and everything like that. But, being a witch, and if you're if you're a practitioner and you're doing these things, you're going to have, some different altars to different people and different things like that. So you can make sure that you're doing the right thing to get your working done, you know. And Barbara says, I want to do ancestral altar, but worry about my kids getting into it. I may put into my cabinet. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you're worried about your kids getting into it and everything like that, yeah, you want to keep it in a special place where they can't get to it. And I made a video before that's in my YouTube videos about having like an ancestor jar, an altar jar. Um, you can also make your altar jar to one of your deities or a certain spirit that you're wanting to work with at the time for whatever reason. You can make an altar jar. You know, there's so many different types of altars that you can work with and make or whatever. You just don't have to have these big elaborate altars. Like I say, you can do the jar. That videos in my YouTube videos if you look back, or you can email me and I can send you the link to that video. And a lot of people, they have altars that they carry around with them because they travel a lot. Like traveling altars is what they call, and they have everything set up in there. With the candles, oils, matches, your little witch cover and everything spread out. Crystals. A lot of people, they'll put their pictures in there of their deity or their ancestor, whoever that they may be working with when they traveling. If it's a prosperity altar that they're traveling with, altar, they'll put, money green rice, which is, I make that as well, gambler's rice, and I cut real money up in it. They'll put that in there. They'll put money oil in there, green money candles, white candle. I mean, it's just so many different ways that you can, have your altar, especially if you're with someone who doesn't believe you do, or they're very heavily religious. You have to keep your little altar private. So you can do an jar altar. You can do a traveling altar. You can have it put away so nobody can see it. And then when you're ready to come out and pay respect and honor, to your ancestors or your deities, all you have to do is, when everyone is gone, whip it out, get you a new candle or whatever, get your incense out, and pay your respect and everything like that, play your music and everything. And then when you're done, clean it up, put it away, and there, nobody knows what you've done. And nobody knows what you've done. Back home early and catch you, but that's a different story, right? But it's all about the respect and the intent. That's right. And you need help, from your ancestors or the spirits. They're going to respect that. They're not going to punish you for that, because they're going to know your heart is in the right place and you're willing to go this mile to pay homage to them, or to ask them for help, or to give them the offerings to show, that you are humble and you're willing to do this. I mean, I don't see what ancestor wouldn't, try to help you or bless you in return, or do something for you in return. You know, and if they don't, then it's probably something else going on, which I wouldn't be able to know about just right off the bat. But I don't see why your ancestor or the spirit that you're trying to contact would turn you down if your heart and your intent was in the right place. Okay, Sharon says, what about people who have been adopted? Okay, well, if you've been adopted, then the best thing for you to do would still do the same, and call upon your ancestors that are for you. If you don't have any names or anything like that, there's no names for you to put, then you would just basically write, on your petition, I'm calling on all my ancestors that were before me, who I have a bloodline to give me guidance and to help me. And you know what? Another thing that you could do that I feel that would help you, since you were adopted, or maybe not you, but maybe if you're listening and if you were adopted, I think a good thing for you to do would be to get the ancestry test done, like ancestry.com, or what is that, 23andMe? Like, go ahead and get done, and so that you can understand what your DNA is made up of. I'm pretty sure the tests aren't 100% perfect or whatever, but DNA is DNA. So you can connect to that and start doing research on the different countries that your DNA is connected to. Sharon, you or the person you're asking about that, oh wow, I'm 25%, so start checking out you know uh, different people from Norway, and what they practice, and what type of deities that the people from Norway practice with, and their religious backgrounds, what were their spirituality based on, who are they, and like I said. And once you start getting more into that, the way that spirit works, because spirit is still connected to us. All spirits, they are connected to us. So you're going to feel a pull towards this or that. You're going to feel a pull towards, oh, well, maybe I should study some more about that because I'm fascinated with that. Yeah, you're fascinated with that because it's in your bloodline. And a lot of people, they don't understand, especially when they're adopted. They don't understand, well, why do I like this so much? Why do I like cats so much? What's the matter with me? And then, because their adopted parents hated cats or whatever. But then they found out, oh, well, my great grandmother was a cat woman. I'm just using it as an example, So, but yes, that the bloodline, the blood is thick, when it comes to that. So I hope that helps without me going on and on. And yes, let's see here. Miss V says, I'm moving to a new place and I'll have an altar room in the attics to do rituals. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And that's just gonna make you more powerful. I mean, the more you practice, the better you get. Practice makes perfect. The more you're doing it, the more you're into it, the more that you are connecting to the spirits and your ancestors, and and you're doing stuff, the better you get. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. No one can tell you, okay, well, you ain't practicing right because you're not doing A, B, C, and D the way I was taught to do. Oh, really? Well, I wasn't taught to do A, B, C, and D. I was taught to do the opposite: C, B, and A. How's about that? Yeah, how's about that? That's how you were taught. Nobody's religions and traditions and the way that they're taught magic is the same. It's not. It's just not. And that's all I want to put out there. Yes. And Sharon, you could have royal blood. You could have royal blood. And you might start connecting to those ancestors, that had royal blood, and start having dreams and stuff. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so true. Used to see my grandmother using Florida water. my mother used to leave coffee out after she passed. No one explained to me, but trust me, I'm learning on my own. Thank you. Thank you. That's what they did. That's what they did. All that stuff too. I saw it with my grandmother. And I remember she had this special soap that she would make. And I remember I always would want to use it. And my mom would tell me, no, that's for your grandmother. That's for mama to use. That's not for kids to use. I'm like, okay, like what's so special about this soap? But I always knew that I wanted to use it. My grandmother was, taking spiritual baths and stuff back then because that's what she did. She helped a lot of people. She prayed for a lot of people. A lot of people came over to her home and everything. She was just loving like that. She cooked for people and, they would come to her, like I said, for they call it readings these days or whatever, but back then in her day they would call it a word from God, or is God telling you anything about me, or is the spirit saying anything about my situation and my husband. Like they will always come to her for that. So this is where I get my gift from. And for those of you that know me, and if you've gotten readings from me before and all of that, that I'm real, because this was passed down because her mother was like that, her grandmother was like that. So it was just passed down. It was just passed down, even with the singing and stuff like that, and the music in my family. It's all it has all to do with the ministry. And even though, they were witches and they did stuff like that, like I said, they had to hide behind the Bible, just like Marie Laveau had to hide behind the Bible, and their family had to hide behind the Bible. But of course, they started using the Bible in different, techniques and stuff like that. So, that's all I'm saying. It's, it is what it is. Yes, yes. And I remember my grandmother also having these beads. She had all of these different beads and stuff like that. And I was like, why does she have all these different beads? But she never would let me mess around with them and touch them. She'd be like, leave them alone, And how kids are when they're curious and stuff like that. But now I understand what her beads was all about and stuff. She never wore them in church. When she went to churches and stuff like that, she never wore them out in public. But, when she was doing stuff around the house and different things like that, and people would come to see her, she would have her beads on then. But she never used them. She never wore them when she went out. Yeah. So, Barbara says, could I do a video on reversal candles? Yes, I can do a video on that, and I'll be sure to notate that. And just remind me. I don't think I'll forget, because I'm looking to do some new videos. I actually got 2 new videos coming out that I want to do, but I don't want to say, because you know how them dream stealers are and stuff like that. I just want to get the videos out. So I feel good once I get the videos out. When I get the videos out, it's all good. But if I say I'm going to do this and do this, it seems like it's always something. Okay, and that's my assistant, I know, messaging me right now. And she's getting ready to come over here. Okay. Yeah, I got some things to do, and I'm going to get started. And okay, you guys, I am going to go ahead and answer a couple of more questions, and then I'm going to wrap this up, okay? Okay, and Ruth Ann says, I love your videos, and I have learned so much in putting them into practice. Thank you so much. Oh, you are so very welcome. You know what? I'm glad my videos are helping a lot of y'all. I really am. Like I said, I'm not a know-it-all. I consider myself a student of magic and a student, of witchcraft. So I'm still learning. I'm 43 years old, and I'm still learning. There's so much to learn. You know, there's so much to learn. So I am just sharing, and I'm just sharing my knowledge base with you all. And I'm glad that it's helping. I really am. I really am. And Tony's girl says, I remember my grandmother writing things on brown paper bags and burning sulfur. Mm-hmm. After she transitioned, we found the crystals she had in the power of the song book when she was a hardcore Christian. I was shocked. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, my grandmother, she, you know, I ain't gonna even lie, even though I work with the Bible when I have to, but I really don't believe that you really need to. But you know, my grandmother, she was a Christian too, so yeah, she worked with the Bible, and I've seen a lot of stuff, and she's got a lot of people together with that. So, and Tony, yes, I do have an online coven. Yes, Tony, I'm glad you found me too. I'm glad we connected. And Sharon says, thank you for making the time to make these videos. They're enlightening and love them. Thank you so much. And I thank you all for coming here and to support me and everything. And believe me, I'm learning a lot from you all too. And I just really want to say that I'm so happy that you all stopped by and sharing the love and everything like that. And I want to say peace to you all. And Tony, that's my thing too. I don't use it unless my spirits tell me to use it. So yeah, yeah. And with that being said, you all, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I've been on here, and I hope that I touched on the base of how to do ancestor veneration or ancestor worship. If there was anything that I left out, then the next live stream we can, you know, talk about it more. And sometimes I do get tongue tied and stuff on here. You know, sometimes it's just like going in front of a lot of people to speak. You're going to make mistakes sometimes. With a video, you can edit it out, but with live stream, you're just getting it all at once. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. And if you need to contact me for reading or consultation, you can set up a paid book time with me, you know, a session with me. And it's an hour for $70 or 30 minutes for $40. And you can contact me at highpriestesskathy@yahoo.com or highpriestesskathy@gmail.com. And I appreciate you all stopping by here. And you take care, you guys. All right. Bye-bye.